This is Pop Culture Yearbook. On this show, we pick pieces of pop culture that were important to us in a given year. We then discuss our memories and dig into those movies, albums, shows, and more. I'm Brad.
Don't forget about Pete, but I'm Giff.
Don't you forget about me.
Yeah.
Oh, Pete. Pete is still missing. No sign on his whereabouts or when he's coming back.
Don't send authorities. Brad's kidding. We know where he is. He's in good health.
Well, again, we don't. He could be in Indianapolis right now. He could be at home. We don't know that.
Could be. Yep. Yeah, but he's not in dire straits. As far as I guess.
As far as we know.
Yeah. He's healthy and wise, and he's still good to go. But he is not with us for this one, unfortunately.
No. Well, we opened the yearbook last week to our page of thanks. It's kind of like the end of your yearbook where you sign everything, because that's like
right.
Everybody says nice stuff to you and wishes to be around you some more. So this
never
is
change.
Never change. This is our thanks special insert for you. So we had a lot of fun with our playlist last week.
We did.
And now we're going to talk about some TV shows, because when it comes to Thanksgiving, we're going to do planes, trains, and automobiles, but I don't think either one of us really have any other great movies. There are movies that reference Thanksgiving or are set at it, but whatever, they're not for us.
They're not as cool as they need to be for PCY.
But there have been a lot of great TV shows and episodes of great TV shows, and so that's what we're going to focus on for the next 2 weeks. And tonight we're going to focus on one show that we've covered before, but we're going to go back to it because it had some really great Thanksgiving themed episodes.
Ba, 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 ba. Ba, ba.
And that little jingle Gifford is singing to you is from HIMYM.
Yes.
How I Met Your Mother. So I'm listening to the How I Made Your Mother podcast, which is out now. Have you seen that?
I have not. Who's a host of that?
It is Josh Radnor, Ted.
Oh, sure.
And then Craig Thomas, one of the creators, writers.
Okay.
And I think Carter Bays is on it sometimes too, the other kind of main creator. And it's a rewatch where they watch every week and break down an episode, and it's fun to listen to, and they always have notes from fans on the beginning and the end about how important the show was. And for me personally, I just finished rewatching the show again for the third time at least, just not too long ago. So it was fun to go back and just not be done with it completely yet by watching these 2 episodes tonight.
Can I ask?
And Gifford, you're watching some. Yeah, go ahead. Ask away.
Can I ask how many hours of podcasts you listen to in a week? Because holy cow.
The secret is I've learned to listen to them pretty much all at 2 times the speed, which
that does
really
help.
makes a big difference, because I would never get through them. I flat out would not get through them. But what I do, my new routine is I get up in the morning now and I work out on the treadmill, and I play my New York Times games and I listen to my podcasts. So I get a good chunk of them done at 5:30, 6 a.m. in the morning every day. So Monday, we got to check ours out and see how it sounded.
Of course.
And sometimes there's the 70s and 80s, or, the Canadian movie crew, they're a little more, you never know, but
sporadic.
often Monday. And then Tuesday, I got to listen to Shirley Can't Be Serious and Totally 80s, 90s Recall immediately. And then they're kind of on hiatus or kind of done now, but I had been listening to the Brady Bunch rewatch with Greg and Barry Williams and Christopher Knight. Greg and Peter did one. So that was another one I had to listen to. And then Wednesdays I listen to Children of the 80s, of course, first thing. And then, if there's a Soundtrack Your Life, we've had them, Ryan on, I listen to those. And if there's I just listened to, you got me onto this Dax Shepard one now. And I saw they had one with Rose Byrne, who I've made very clear is my thing. And so I had to listen to the Rose Byrne talk. And I'll throw in a lot of other ones throughout, but it's mostly due to just walking on the treadmill and driving to and from work and listening at 2 times speed, which I never thought I would do. I initially started at 1.25 and okay, that helps a little, but I just kept creeping it up until I got used to it.
There you go.
It's crazy though when you do that. Sorry.
Yeah.
And then you go back and listen at 1 time speed. It's amazing because it sounds like everybody's having a stroke. I mean, everybody is talking normal, but when you go back, it sounds like, oh my God, that's how it's crazy. So you gotta you can't go too abruptly from one to the other.
Sure.
Anyway, those are all the podcasts.
Do you do Jim the honor of listening to their pod while in the shower?
No, I have not had to do that yet. No.
Okay. Excellent. All right.
But I would do it just for him.
Yeah. Oh, we do a lot of things for Jim.
I'm sure there's other ones I listen to that I forgot. Oh, I should throw out our friend Deaf Dave, who we've had on twice for. He's got an Apples and Oranges, Beatles and Beach Boys one, which is done, but I've been plowing through that lately. I'm more than halfway through that. So that's another one I listen to kind of because it's not, every week. I listen to it whenever I get caught up and I have time to listen to something else.
Excellent.
So it's crazy, but you got to keep up. If you're going to do this job, you got to keep up with what's going on around you.
Well, speaking of plowing things, let's talk about your mother, and specifically How I Met Her. So How I Met Your Mother, great show. I mean, one of the great things about this show is the way they recall things and how they will flash back to things that make sense, and then they will carry through these storylines through all the seasons. And of course they do holiday episodes. And of course, Thanksgiving is a big one on How I Met Your Mother. So tonight we are going to specifically cover season 3, episode 9, Slapsgiving. And Slapsgiving? I'm sorry, Thanksgiving.
No. Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought I heard something else.
Uh-huh. And we are going to also cover season 5, episode 9, Slapsgiving 2, Revenge of the Slap.
I love that name. Can I throw out? I want to mention all the people we've worked with too. There's Beer and
that you're thankful for.
Well, I'm thankful for all these people, and so I don't want to leave anybody out when I list all these podcasts. There's Beer in Front with Dave Zalatoris, and there's Spinning the Wheel with Matt, who was on about a year ago at this time, the George Michael podcast. Of course, there's Smoking Sounds with Sean.
Sounds.
And then there's others too, but I just want to make sure because we've had all them on, and they've all been important to us. So I don't want to leave anybody out because I'm thankful for everybody that I just mentioned.
Absolutely, yes. Thank you to all who have graced us. So, what I would like to get into a little bit here is the history of the slap.
You got to. If you don't watch the show, you got to know because it's lore, and you got to know the lore.
It is. So I'm not only am I going to do history of the slap, but I'm just going to touch on real quickly the Thanksgiving episodes that came out on How I Met Your Mother. So season 1, they had a belly full of turkey, and this is when we see Marshall and Lily go back to where? Marshall's hometown of
St. Cloud,
Minnesota. So they are newly engaged,
and his giant family.
And we see the giant family in St. Cloud. They play ice ball in the backyard, combination of hockey and basketball. Lily has a pregnancy scare. In the meantime, Ted, Robin, and Barney back in New York, they're volunteering at a soup kitchen. We see Barney is like volunteer of the year, and then we learn that, in fact, he's there doing community service because he was caught urinating in public. So that was their first Thanksgiving episode. The next year is one of the greatest episodes of all time in How I Met Your Mother. This is in season 2. This is called Slap Bet.
And that was the Thanksgiving one?
This is during, it wasn't a Thanksgiving episode, but it was the week of Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay.
So they didn't really...
We should have watched that one too then.
They didn't really concentrate on a Thanksgiving theme, but this is where the slap bet originated. And this is also the episode of Robin Sparkles.
Oh, that's a big one.
Huge episode. So this is basically the rundown of where the slap bet came from. So Robin and Ted are dating at this point. And Ted is obviously open about everything. Robin's a little more secretive. And they end up wanting to go to a mall, and Robin says, can't go to a mall. I don't want to go to a mall, not going to go to a mall. So everybody's interest is piqued. Why can't they go to a mall? So Barney and Marshall start talking about why. Why can't they go to a mall? Marshall says, well, maybe she is married, and people get married in a mall, like at Mall of America. So he's betting she's married. And Barney says, no, it's porn. It's got to be porn. That's the only thing that it can possibly be is porn. So they make a bet, and the bet is whoever wins gets to slap the other one in the face as hard as they can.
5 times, right?
No, just once.
Oh, at first it's once. Okay.
It just at first it's once. And the bet is basically that it's not porn, is the bet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So they name Lily the slap bet commissioner. And Robin claims to try to throw people off that, yes, she is indeed married. So Ted tells this to the group. Marshall immediately slaps Barney. And we think, okay, that's it. The bet is over. The slap has been given. One of the great lines during this is after Barney gets slapped. He says to Marshall, "Your hand is monstrous." And Marshall responds with, "Well, what do you expect? You've seen my penis." Which we have seen.
Yeah, just this month. Well,
Jason Segel's penis. Yes, just a couple episodes ago. Exactly. So I had to write that
commented on
up.
the impressive size of it, even as it's flaccid.
Correct. So we do come to find out that she was not married. She admits, "I was not married." So now this slap that Marshall is given was given
Rescinded?
falsely.
Yeah.
Yes. So that means that Barney is awarded 3 slaps, which he uses immediately, 3 quick slaps to Marshall's face. And then Barney finds the Robin Sparkles video.
Yes.
He hasn't watched it yet. And so he brings in his laptop, he sets it on the table. Everybody gathers around. Robin is petrified. She says, "Don't watch it. You can't do it. I was young. I needed the money. I was confused." And Barney starts.
Obviously, he's convinced. Clearly, it's porn.
Yes. So he starts the video, and Robin is in a classroom in a little schoolgirl outfit, and she's in trouble with the teacher. And she says, "Is there anything I can do?" So Barney pauses it, stands up, slaps Marshall because it's obviously porn. And so that's the 4th slap now that Barney has delivered. And Robin says, "Well, it's not porn." And they play the rest of the video, and we get to see "Let's All Go to the Mall," the great video.
Which, if you don't know, is basically a Tiffany Debbie Gibson Canadian version that Robin was as a teenager in the 90s.
Yes, she was a pop star in Canada. She had one big hit, and she had to spend all this time performing this song in malls, and that's why she doesn't like going to the mall.
And she also had a TV show with Alan Thicke and Nicole Scherzinger where they talked about their beavers.
Yes, that's right. And there's also a
Which
Robin
was
Sparkles.
a pet beaver, by the way. It's not explicit.
Yes.
Because they're from Canada.
And there's also a Behind the Music Robin Sparkles episode with "P.S. I Love You." And that turns out to be...
Circle in the Sand as well.
Yep.
Sandcastles in the Sand. Circle in the Sand was a real song by Belinda Carlisle, right?
Sandcastles in the Sand. It has to be much dumber than Circles in the Sand.
Yeah.
So once they find out that this is not porn and Marshall's been slapped 4 times erroneously, Lily, a slap bet commissioner, offers Barney the option: do you want 10 slaps now or 5 slaps from now to eternity? And he goes for the 5 slaps from now to eternity,
which he would regret very much. So
he will. You
got to get it over with
very much. So Marshall uses 1 slap immediately just to get it out of the way. So now he's got 4 left to give out for the rest of time. So then we move on to season 2, episode 16. There's Barney puts on a one-man performance that's just excruciating for everybody to watch. So Marshall stands up after like 2.5 hours of this performance and smacks Barney in the face. So that's 2. We got 2 slaps gone. And that, of course, brings us to our first episode that we're going to cover tonight. Season 3, episode 9, Slapsgiving.
And if you haven't watched the show, the true nature of the show is they are so brilliant at running gags and dragging things out and putting things, they call it the Bible in like sitcoms and TV shows. They know what they're doing and they plan it out, and these are spread out over a long time, which is the beauty of it. And as a fan, you're watching it, it's exciting because, it gets to bring back these things as you watch.
Right.
So I did do, you may not know the show or you may not know the specific episode, and I did do our sponsored by Google Gemini summary of this episode.
Yes.
Here we go. So, in the How I Met Your Mother episode Slapsgiving, Marshall prepares to deliver the third of 5 slaps to Barney. As you said, 2 are gone. As part of the long-standing slap bet. The day is filled with Barney's fear and Marshall's dramatic countdown to the designated moment. He literally has a countdown showing the time, which all these things, well, we'll get to it, are intended to, Barney thinks, they're going to take all the fear out of it, but in fact, they work the opposite. Meanwhile, Ted and Robin awkwardly are navigating their first holiday together since breaking up, with tensions running high, especially after Robin brings a new boyfriend, which is funny. Despite the initial strain, the two realize that they can still be friends when an old inside joke unexpectedly makes them laugh, diffusing the tension. General knowledge. The episode culminates with Marshall delivering the highly anticipated slap to Barney, who is both relieved and terrified, followed by Marshall's original song, You Just Got Slapped.
You just got slapped.
Solidifying Slapsgiving as a new gang tradition. Yes. But the beauty is, before he slaps him, there's so much that goes into the twists and turns of how that slap gets delivered, and that's what we got to talk about here. So,
yes.
I didn't really look up fun facts or anything, but I did find that Donna Bowman, I don't know who she is. She can get off her high horse. She's from the AV Club. She gave this episode a B. I mean, how do you give this episode a B? This is like an all-time classic. Entertainment Weekly did have it on their end of the decade best of list. It's all it said. I don't know, apparently episodes of the decade, but so they thought it was as good as we would think. But Donna Bowman, whatever, lady.
Yeah. I'm not in favor of hitting a woman, but maybe just a light slap. Could
boy,
straighten her out.
Oh boy, no, you might have gone too far there.
I didn't say where she was going to get slapped, but
Oh my God, here we go. Well, anyway, this episode starts with one of the other great gags that they bring up on the podcast that I listen to, and the Gifford understands right away, and that is when somebody uses a term that you might use to address a military member. That Ted and Robin will always then repeat it in a salute to each other. So at the beginning, they talk about general knowledge. General knowledge.
Yes.
They also talk about corporal punishment. Corporal punishment. Mm-hmm. and then, just to drag it out, I remember it's probably Marshall that says he has a kernel stuck in his teeth.
Yes.
Kernel stuck in my teeth. So, they do and there's a section on the podcast called General Knowledge, and they do it every time still, which is great.
I love it.
So we get that little gag out of the way right at the beginning, but it's important because in the great writing of this TV show, that comes back later as a key moment, which is very important to the episode in the side. Well, it's probably the main story, I guess. Well, no, it's not in this case, but in the side story in this one. The main story in this one is clearly the slap episode.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so let's kind of run through whatever you got on this one, Giff. What are some things you noticed or loved about this episode?
Well, this is the first group Thanksgiving. So this is the first time our main characters, all 5 main characters, are together for Thanksgiving. Of course, we saw in season 1 that there was a Thanksgiving episode, but they weren't all together. So this is the first time because at this point, Marshall and Lily are married, and they wanted to have... Right? That's correct. I think they got married in season 2.
That's the next episode when they have their new apartment and they want to have everybody over.
Yeah, but they were married at the end of season 2. So I think this is the first time that they are...
You're right. This is
a married couple.
In my head, I was thinking this was season 2.
Yep.
My bad.
So that's kind of the big thing that, now we have all of our 5 main characters together. Of course, we have the infusion of a date, which Robin is dating an older man. He's 41.
He's 41, but he's played by a guy who's about 75 because that's how Ted, who's of course jealous, he sees him as an older guy. So and it's hilarious because the guy talks like a surfer, but he's like a 75-year-old guy playing this part of Robin's boyfriend. Again, he's brilliant.
And he's dressed not appropriately for a 75. He's dressed like we would be a regular, 40-something-year-old guy, but he's talking in, lingo. He brings Jello shots to Thanksgiving, to liven up the atmosphere.
One of the slappetizers, by the way.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
You get plenty of great puns with slaps throughout here.
Correct. Yeah, and of course this is when Marshall starts, inputting the, leading up to, it's
Subliminal
Slapsgiving.
man.
Yeah, he puts it in. Barney's, his ears are he hears this. He asks him to repeat
We want to have
himself.
you all over for Slapsgiving.
Yeah.
So what'd you say? Oh, Thanksgiving.
Barney, of course, is concerned about what's going on. And the beauty of it is like, 55, 56 days in advance, Marshall makes a website with the slap clock on it that counts down to the slap.
And so he shows him that. And this is where, all these things keep coming up where Barney's like, well, it's not going to hurt. It's not going to be so bad because you're telling me everything that you're going to do. He says, you showed your hand. And then Marshall goes, yeah. And at Thursday at 3:01 p.m., your face is going to show my hand.
Yes. So, that's awesome. That was kind of one of the big things with them all being together that I wanted to point out. So what else you got?
Well, a few other quotes too here. We learned that Marshall has a condition where he gets up and walks at night and eats a lot of turkey and food. But this is one of those where it's the delivery, because he says sleep eating is a very serious and delicious medical condition. Yes. And he's laughing as he says it like he knows he's totally making it up. Mm-hmm. But he's trying to convince him it's a real condition. It's hilarious because it's one of those things where it looks like a blooper, but it's actually perfect the way he delivers it because he's just screwing around with it.
Yeah.
After that, one more quote I have before we maybe skip ahead a little bit, but he's talking to Barney, and they're talking about what they're going to do throughout the day, and he says, well, later we're going to eat turkey. And then he pauses. And then I'm going to slap you in the face.
Yes. So we have the lead up to Slapsgiving. We need to prepare the food for Thanksgiving. So Lily, of course, is at home, and she's going crazy trying to get, all the food prepared. But to take some of the load off of her, Robin says she's going to bake the pies. So the idea is the group, some of them will be over at Robin's baking pies. So Ted says, well, what time are you showing up? I'll show up later because they're having a hard time being alone together because it's so awkward after the breakup and now Robin having this new beau. So Ted, of course, shows up to Robin's and nobody's there. Lily, she had to stay home. She's freaking out. She's got to get all this ready. Barney, I don't think is interested at all.
No, and what Marshall wasn't doing anything either. He was acting like he was busy, but he was like doing nothing at home.
Correct. And I don't remember.
He was helping Lily, but he wasn't doing anything.
As he was just sitting in a chair watching television. And Barney, or Bob, her boyfriend, couldn't make it. I don't remember exactly why. So the two of them are stuck making pies and trying to come up with conversation and stay friendly. But really, there's just a lot of animosity there between the two of them. So they kind of get into it a little bit. And what happens? I can't quite remember what happened between the two of them. Well,
they make a pie that she can't eat because of, I don't remember, it's like not gluten-free or whatever.
She's allergic to pecans.
Yeah. And so he realized they're making a pie specifically for Bob, and that made him angry, and then they get in a little spat.
And how do they resolve that spat?
How do they... they end up having sex. That's right.
Yes.
We learn that later when they go to Thanksgiving and they tell Marshall and Lily separately. But yeah, of course, in true sitcom fashion, they had sex in the kitchen.
Yes. So baking pies turned into anyway. So yes, they ended up having some sex on the couch, and that adds a whole new dynamic to Thanksgiving dinner. So they have to work their way through that.
And so the two episodes are running together to me now. So Lily calls off the slap because Marshall's just being a dick about it, right?
Yes, he's being a dick. He's pointing out the clock. Everything is all about him getting to slap
and
Barney.
He's ruining the real purpose of the day, which is that she wants to have everybody have their first Thanksgiving together, and she gets so mad at him. She says the slap is off, and as the commissioner, she can do that.
As a day of peace, there will be no slap on this day. So, of course, Barney jumps all over that, and he is enjoying himself now, and now he's taunting Marshall.
But he can't help himself.
He can't help himself because he's Barney, and that's just the way he is. So he's got the computer. He's showing that, the clock is counting down, and I guess we're not going to have a slap. And then, of course, that pisses off the commissioner, and Lily rescinds her decree, and of course, we have this massive slap. And then
He
as you
spins
said,
all the way around and lands on the couch.
yes. I think he fell over the couch onto the end table, and onto the ground. And then Marshall celebrates by bringing everybody over to the piano for his.
Well, before that, though,
song.
we should just wrap up. So Ted and Robin are very awkward that day because of what they did.
Of course.
And they don't even want to really talk to each other. But somebody said, this is a major buzzkill at the table. And they go look at each other and go, major buzzkill. Mm-hmm. And they smile at each other. And it's like that makes it, they're not getting back together or anything. But like now they realize they can be friends.
Correct.
And so it resolves that situation. And then Marshall gets to slap, of course, Barney, and everybody's happy except Barney.
Except Barney.
And then what does Marshall do?
Then we have his song, You Just Got Slapped, and he's singing. And what I love about it is Barney is actually the backup singer on the Oohs and the Ahs, because he's in the background going, ooh, oh, as Marshall's singing the song.
And
so
speaking of 2 weeks ago, did this not remind you of the way the song sounded and him singing and playing the piano, the Dracula musical?
Yes.
And Forgetting Sarah Marshall. I mean, this is Jason Segel's, that's his thing.
Right. Well, and Forgetting Sarah Marshall was 2008, and this came out
this was
November of 2007.
This might have influenced him.
Well, I'm guessing he was probably doing. I mean, I don't know exactly when the production was for
I think
Sarah
he'd been
Marshall.
working on that for a long time, probably.
Yeah, yeah. So showing his piano chops
by saying "Happy Slapsgiving, everybody."
Yes.
Okay. So that was fun. We come back 2 years later, and we get to do it again. Revenge of the Slap.
I would like to point out. So the next season, season 4, they did not have a Thanksgiving episode. But the week of Thanksgiving, the episode was The Naked Man.
Oh, that's a great one.
That's, again, not a Thanksgiving episode per se, but,
boy,
they brought the heat.
If you want to get into this show and don't want to watch the whole thing, just look up the third week of November, the fourth week of November, Thursday, and watch those episodes.
Yep, they did.
You probably
did a
want to
very
watch the
good
show.
job. Right.
All right, so this is now season 5, episode 9.
Mm-hmm.
So, in Slapsgiving 2, Revenge of the Slap, Marshall complicates Thanksgiving by bequeathing the 4th slap to Ted and Robin. So there's 2 slaps left. Mm-hmm. And he, we'll get to why, but he gives them the slap because he owes them for something that he's so happy about. This puts Barney on high alert because by the end of the day, on Thanksgiving yet again, he's going to get slapped, but he doesn't know who's going to do it or when. The slap becomes a hot potato, with Ted and Robin arguing over who deserves the honor, even resorting to emotional manipulation before passing it along to Lily's estranged and incompetent father, Mickey, who has suddenly shown up. The slap is then passed from Mickey back to Lily as an apology, but she can't bring herself to do it. After a series of bequeathals, Marshall declares there will be no slap, only to dramatically deliver it himself, full circle, once Barney lets his guard down, continuing the prank-filled holiday tradition. Yes. Simultaneously, Lily struggles to reconnect with her father, but eventually finds some peace with him. And I want to say that Donna Bowman of the AV Club gave this, what do you think?
A C.
No, a B again.
Oh, okay.
Whatever.
All right.
Donna Bowman. I don't trust her judgment for anything else.
Well, I will say this one's not. I didn't find it quite as good as Slapsgiving.
It's not still, because it's not the original, and also you don't like Chris Elliott very much.
Which I've said in the past, I maybe need to reassess this.
But you like a lot of stuff he's in, right? You like
exactly.
You like this, and
something about Mary. I mean,
so
come
he
on.
shows up. He is this is his first appearance on the show. He plays Lily's dad, who basically was absent father, and so that's why we're bringing him up. And so he gets invited to Thanksgiving. Actually, we find out by Marshall, who's trying to reconnect them, which he's definitely overstepping his bounds there and causes a lot of strife by doing that. But we can kind of get into that as we go.
Okay.
So this is the Thanksgiving with all of them again, but it's at Marshall and Lily's new apartment this time.
Yes. So they have moved out of Ted and Marshall's apartment. And so this is at the new place. So the way this starts, the thing that
sets all the slaps in motion.
Yes. The reason that this slap is bequeathed to Ted and Robin is because Marshall was in charge of getting the turkey. He found the perfect turkey. And while talking to Lily on his cell phone, getting out of the cab, bringing the turkey home, of course, he forgets the turkey in the cab. So Ted and Robin, they then track down the actual turkey at Port Authority and bring it to the apartment and give it to Marshall, who is overcome with joy. And therefore, he says, this is one of the greatest things anybody's done for me. I give you the fourth slap.
And he says, slap a diem.
Yes.
Seize the day.
Slap a diem.
So the reason why Lily's dad, Chris Elliott, has always been absent is because his arc in the show is he's trying to create the great board game. which is funny, but an interesting task. And so we see all these failed board games, and they're all terrible, and he's ridiculous.
Did you happen to write them down? That's what he's been
doing.
I wrote down the board games.
Oh, I did not. So please share them. I know we have diseases.
We have just little flashbacks of little Lily growing up and going to her dad and saying, you missed my dance recital, you missed gymnastics, you missed blah, blah, blah. And every time he's tinkering on the next big board game. So his first one is Tijuana Slumlord. We really don't get into what the gameplay is in that one. The next one is Car Battery, and the idea is where you just hang on to the ends of a car battery for as long as possible, so you can go the longest.
They are not good ideas.
No, and the last one we see in a flashback is young Lily comes into the room, and she was in bed, and she had a nightmare and is looking for comfort from her father, who has just put the finishing touches on. There's a clown demon under the bed. Which, of course, freaks out young Lily, and she goes screaming down the hall. So, yes, he shows up this time with his newest invention of diseases. Yes. The fun is infectious.
Infectious. That's a great tagline. That's all you need is a good tagline. There is a crossover in this one. We will talk next week about one of the greatest Friends Thanksgiving episodes. And in one of the flashbacks, we see the Chris Elliott's mom, so Lily's grandma, apparently, was played by Christina Pickles.
Yes.
Who is the mother of Ross and Monica on Friends. And has some great parts in the episode that we are going to talk about next week.
Yes, she does. Yeah, so she basically, everything comes to a head with her father when she loves her grandparents, Mickey's parents, loves them and comes over for a visit and realizes that they are not retiring and going and moving to Florida. In fact, Grandpa has gone back to work at the steel mill because Mickey has moved into their basement and now they need to provide for him. So she is so upset that Grandpa's got to go back to work. They're not able to retire and move to their dream house in Florida. And she gives him her "you're dead to me" look and has not spoken to him in, I believe it's 3 years. Is that correct?
I don't remember, but he is quite the loser.
He is.
We get a bunch of great puns again in this one. We have the Slaprentice. We have Eric Slapton. We have the Poison Slapple. We have Slapsalutely. I mean, and just, it's great how they work all those in. But this one has a good kind of tie back to the previous episode, because in this episode, there's kind of a tender moment where they're talking about who gets the slap between Ted and Robin.
Yes.
And he says that he's still in love with her, and he looks dead serious. Yeah. And then she goes, "Are you just would you go so far as to do that just to try to get the slap?" And he is. He's actually faking it, which is totally against Ted, because everybody knows Ted's always hung up on her forever.
Right.
And it's so funny. It's wonderful. They sell it so hard, and the fact that he would do that for the slap just shows the importance of the slap.
But I really want to slap him.
I really want to slap him.
Yes. Oh, I did forget the moment when Lily basically kills off her dad in her mind. The newest game at her grandparents' place that he's come up with is Dogfight Promoter.
Dogfight Promoter. Sponsored by Michael Vick.
Yes, exactly. So he might have had some money behind it. That might have had some legs.
I can't remember who says this. I think it's Marshall as he's giving it away to, or was it Mickey? Somebody says it as they're giving it away in just all earnestness because they want to know why, and they go, "You deserve to slap someone in his face as hard as you can."
Yes.
Hey, the delivery of the importance of the slap is just, again, it's lore in the show, and it's amazing and it's awesome.
So it's wonderful how Ted and Robin have this. They get in a fight. Who deserves to slap Barney? It starts out very nice. Like, oh, you're great. You should slap him. No, you deserve it. And Barney and Robin had just broken up recently, so Ted's like, well, don't you really want to slap him? So once one of them finally says, okay, well, I'll do it, then that's where the tension comes in. And Barney does a great job of playing one against the other.
He sees his opening to push this off and make them fight more until it hopefully won't even happen.
Well, and there is a time factor to this. They have to slap Barney. Somebody needs to slap Barney before the meal because they're not
always
messing.
A rule.
Yep, they're not messing with Lily's meal. So this has to happen before the evening meal. So Barney's trying to run out the clock, and he is playing one against the other. And finally they decide, is it Ted that gets to slap Barney?
Yes,
and then
he's the one that he gives it to Mickey because
he gives it to Robin.
Oh, first Robin, yeah. Okay.
Yep. So it's just great because a person will walk and Barney has been now tied to the slapping throne, which is just a chair that Marshall ties him to.
But that's part of the event of this one.
Yes. So he is tied with his hands behind his back, so he's just got to sit here in terror as Ted winds up to slap him and then can't do it. And, of course, he passes it to Robin, and Robin's all excited. She gets up there, she rears back, and, of course, every time they do that, Barney whimpers something funny like, oh, my God, or something. It's just great. So then she gives it to Mickey, who in turn gives it to Lily, and Lily can't do it either. So Marshall says this slap has done exactly what I wanted it to do.
It's like he planned it all along to work out this way, that it would get back to him.
He says, there will be no slap today. This slap has brought us all together on this day of thanks.
And he unties Barney and lets him get up.
Yep, lets him get up. And as Barney turns towards him, happy that this isn't going to happen, Marshall just hauls off and whacks him for the fourth one. Yep, he is so excited that he has gotten this fourth one in, and of course surprise Barney with it again, while also terrorizing him for the entire day leading up to the slap. So it's wonderful. And then we see in the end credits that we have a new board game
called Slap Bet.
Of Slap Bet, and it's fun, laughs, and hitting is what it says.
And it's got Marshall's song, You Just Got Slapped, in the jingle.
Yes, it does.
But so all of this worked out too, where apparently Mickey finally got a at least somewhat successful board game idea that he was able to market. But
and in this commercial, there's young children playing with grandma, and they're all just around the board, and they're slapping each other left and right. So yeah, it's some good stuff. We also have in this series Slapsgiving 3, Slap Appointment at Slapmara. I don't remember exactly what season that's in. So there is another Slapsgiving. But
there's a slap to go yet too. So
and there was also more slaps given. So I don't remember exactly, but Marshall was bequeathed 3 more slaps. Let me see. I think I got it right here. One of you lied and one of you prematurely slapped. Oh wait, no, that was before. But anyway, Marshall ends up with a total of 8 slaps in the series, and the last one is delivered at Barney's and Robin's wedding because Barney's kind of freaking out, and Marshall needs to do something to calm him down and snap him back into reality. So that is our last slap in the last season.
Well, those were fun to watch, and
Yeah.
they're great episodes by themselves, but with the Thanksgiving, theme going on, it makes them even more fun and more memorable that way.
For sure.
All right, well, we're going to kind of do, I wouldn't say a 180 here, but we're going to kind of change the topic. It's still going to be Thanksgiving Day, but one of the things that's very important to Thanksgiving Day with many people, including, well, me, especially growing up, is the NFL football. Like you're going to watch football, you're going to watch the Lions, you're going to watch the Cowboys. And if your team is on playing one of them, it's extra special. And there's been a lot of really great games and really great moments on Thanksgiving Day throughout the years.
Yes.
So
and,
for our draft, go ahead.
Can I just say we're not doing a complete 180. We went from slapping violence to football violence. So
it does fit.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Thanksgiving, it's violence, it's hitting. You're right.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. We should have done this first, though, because you would watch this during the day, and then you would watch, the sitcom at night. But whatever.
Yeah.
So we are going to draft tonight our favorite games/memories of that time. And I would assume, we didn't really discuss it, but if you pick a moment, I mean, that game is what... the game is off then, right?
Yes.
Right.
I would say so.
Which is the way I have it, but we had...
If you pick the game that happened in.
But then you say why and what was the memory.
Yeah.
All right. So I grew up, in my family, of course, we loved football. And so we would often miss part of the first game we would have Thanksgiving meal around, like noon or 1 o'clock Central Time. So the Lions game is going on. Even if the Vikings were playing, we would still eat and we might have to miss part of it. But then, you guys would go take their nap, everybody clean up, and then there'd be another game on later, and you'd probably have that on too. You might be playing cards like we talked about last week, but there's another game on too. And we were always paying attention to them. So I have a lot of great memories of certain games. The Vikings have played on Thanksgiving many, many times, and so some of those games have been really great.
Yeah.
All right. Gifford wasn't sure about this. He had a harder time thinking that he could do this. So I bequeathed him the first pick in the draft. And then I will go after that. And then we'll pick a third list left over here for the leftovers, the Thanksgiving leftovers.
Thanksgiving leftovers for Pete. And then we'll discuss whatever other ones we have.
Yeah.
So to me, there's a pretty obvious one, but I'm going to leave that for you.
Oh, really? Well, it's funny because that's not my number one either, but I'll probably take it if you leave it to me.
So as a Minnesota Vikings fan, I'm going to take with my first pick, I'm going back to 1998. I'm going to Randy Moss's...
Oh, this isn't the obvious one?
No, I think there's another one.
Oh, well,
that more people would be familiar with.
But for us...
it's the obvious one.
Obviously,
right.
Obvious. I thought you were going a different direction.
So this is 1998. This is Randy Moss's national coming out party, his rookie year.
Well, technically, he already had that on Monday Night Football against the Packers.
That's true. I guess you're right.
This backed it up.
This did back it up. So we were the Vikes were playing the Cowboys, and he didn't have really that many catches if you're in a PPR league. Nope. He only had 3 catches. But those 3 catches, he it's what you do with it. It's not the quantity, but the quality. 163 yards and 3 touchdowns. Caught the ball 3 times
to the house.
And took them all to the house. Vikes win 46-36. So not a defensive battle by any means, but Randy Moss exploding with 163 yards and 3 touchdowns. So that's
clearly the number one choice there. The other big deal with that game for him in particular is that he really wanted to get drafted by the Cowboys and thought they were going to draft him. And I mean, everybody, bunch of teams passed him over, but specifically the Cowboys, he took offense to because he thought Jerry Jones would pick him. And so to be able to do this to him on Thanksgiving was a really big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that was, what I figured I'd end up taking because I thought you were going to take something else, but I'm going with my heart as I always do. And so I actually, above that game, I have a different Vikings-Cowboys game. I have a 1987 Vikings-Cowboys game. So I'm 11 years old. And by the way, the 1987 team almost missed the playoffs thanks to the strike because we had a terrible strike team and those games counted and they went 0-3. But we got into the playoffs. We destroyed New Orleans. We destroyed San Francisco. We came 1 yard from making the Super Bowl and would have won it because every NFC team won the Super Bowl back then. That was the year we should have won the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, we played the Cowboys in 87. It was a 44-38 overtime win for the Vikings. It was one of the more entertaining games I remember of my life. Anthony Carter had 184 yards receiving that day, even more than Randy Moss. This might have been the greatest game Darren Nelson ever had for the Vikings. So Darren Nelson, you might not know, famously by the Vikings, was drafted in 1982 ahead of Marcus Allen.
Mm-hmm.
We could have had Marcus Allen. We took Darren Nelson. He never really did much. He was an okay player, but he didn't do much. He got traded in the Herschel Walker trade, too.
He sure did.
But he had a 52-yard touchdown run. He had well over 100 yards, and then he put the game away with a 24-yard overtime touchdown run. And I remember, this is one of the, I talked about this last week. This is one, we were at our farm. Our whole family was there. All our Des Moines family was there. And I remember sitting on my dad's lap because we had this little den. It only really sat 4 people. So we had to stuff in there all the guys that wanted to watch the game. So I'm sitting kind of on his lap. I'm eating pepper nuts with these little cookies that we make during the holidays. And I am a huge Vikings fan. I'm a kid. And this game was just an indelible memory. And I loved Darren Nelson. My dad hated Darren Nelson, but I loved him as a kid because I thought he was supposed to be this great player.
Mm-hmm.
And I hated the Cowboys already. I grew up knowing that you hate the Cowboys, America's team, whatever.
Right.
This game was fantastically entertaining, and that's my number one and it really was a very important game. Without that game, they're not going to make the playoffs at all, and they nearly made the Super Bowl. So that's my number one. There was no doubt about it. Okay. Hopefully somebody out there remembers that game as well.
All right. Well, that's good. That's not the one I didn't even have that one down because, again, I don't remember stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the game that probably most people will remember.
Well, see, I think there's 2 here that we're each going to get one then.
Good. So this one is not necessarily because it was a great game, but because of just an idiotic, bonehead play. And this is 1993 Cowboys Dolphins. This is the snow game. Mm-hmm. I believe it was it 14-13 at the time?
16-13.
Well, at the time of the it was
You're right.
12.
You're right. It was 14-13 when the Dolphins were lining up to try to kick a field goal to win.
To try to kick a field goal, so they have to clear out the spot where the guy is kicking. The kick is blocked, and at that point it's a dead ball. If no Cowboy touches the ball, the game just ends. It's over. Who cares? And Leon Lett comes charging in out of nowhere for the Cowboys.
Lett
tries to jump on the ball, kicks it forward. Now it's a live ball, and Dolphins recover, and then they get another chance at the kick. And, I mean, it's a chip shot. I mean, they're basically on the goal line. And then the Dolphins go on to win. So just an absolute idiotic play by Leon Lett, who had another, pretty memorable, notorious play in the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. The previous year was the Super Bowl where he got the ball stripped at the 1-yard line.
Don Beebe, baby. Yep. Coming out of nowhere.
Yeah, I love that game. And even without the Leon Lett thing, that was still one of the best, most memorable games ever because, snow in Texas. What the heck? And then, this stupid Texas stadium, which just has the hole in the roof so God can watch.
Yep.
It's not even that big, but the snow got in, covered everything. It was just a wild game. And you got, a Florida team. The Dolphins are playing there. I loved that game so much. And then I wanted the Dolphins to win. So that whole ending was just fabulous.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my other one comes from the same year that you picked, the Vikings in 98. So that was quite the eventful day in 1998. Mm-hmm. So not only did Randy Moss give it to the Cowboys, but before that, the Steelers were playing the Lions.
Yep.
And you might call this the Phil Luckett game. You might call it the coin flip game.
Yep.
The Steelers and Lions went into overtime, tied at 16. So, not probably a very entertaining or wildly fun game or anything. But Jerome Bettis goes out to the 50-yard line to call the coin flip. And I heard him live. He started to say heads.
Yep.
And, of course he's going to claim he didn't really say it. But I actually heard him say it. And he goes heads, tails.
He did.
And Phil Luckett, who got just vilified by everybody, says, I got to go with the first thing he said. And I heard heads first. And I'll back him up because he did.
He said heads, tails.
He did. But the guy, Phil Luckett, was just turned into a joke. I mean, he was a meme if you're talking about now, and nobody really ever came around and defended him. But he was not wrong.
No.
But of course, they did not win the flip. And so the Lions got the ball, drove right down, kicked the field goal, and won the game.
Right.
But everybody remembers the coin flip. Everybody remembers Phil Luckett, who cares? He's a ref. But I think he did the right thing. And I think that it just made for a great memory because it was a crazy thing that happened.
Well,
and it changed the coin flip because then after that, now you always call it before they even flip it. They had to change the whole rule because of Jerome Bettis.
And, he's playing the game, right? He's saying, like, no matter what comes up, he can say he said it, right? And the announcers were just savage on Luckett. They're like, he said tails. He said tails. No, he said heads, tails.
You can hear it.
And of course, Luckett, the first thing he hears is heads, so he's like, okay, there's the call. So
and even Bettis admitted it. He'll say he called like he started to say heads. So he's admitting it right there.
Yep.
But whatever.
Yeah.
So
yes, sir.
I'll defend Phil Luckett. Good for him.
Yeah, I will too. And I'm a Bettis guy. I loved watching the bus.
I like Bettis too. Yeah,
he's awesome. But I'm going with he. Yeah, he called both just so he could have either way.
All right. What do we got next? Now we kind of got the biggest ones out of the way here. What do we got?
We
next?
do. Yep, those are kind of the big ones. I've got quite a few starred here that I'd like to get. So we'll see. I think I'll get by just fine here. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to go 1989 Eagles-Cowboys.
Oh, you did it. See, that's a good one. You're getting all the good ones.
This is an absolute snoozer of a game. It's 27-0 Eagles.
Cowboys went 1-15 that year.
Yes. But this is the year that Madden started the turkey leg MVP tradition.
Oh, there's another reason why this game stands out, though.
Oh, well, this is the reason I'm taking. Can you expound on that, please?
Well, this is called Bounty Bowl.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Buddy Ryan was accused of putting a bounty on Luis Zendejas, a freaking kicker, but he used to play for the Eagles, and Troy Aikman.
Mm-hmm.
And it led, and then they played again in like 2 weeks, and it led to just all kinds of animosity between these two teams. And Jimmy Johnson, it was his first year, and they were just awful that year. And he's talking about Buddy Ryan, and he said he wanted to talk to him after the game, but he wouldn't keep his fat rear end on the field. So I had it down too as Bounty Bowl, but it also was the Turducken. Okay, two good reasons.
Yep. Yeah. So that's, me, growing up. I mean, obviously that started when we were 11 or 13. Jesus, good math there, but I mean, everybody remembers that was the big thing, right? Down to the field. They got the Turducken, they got the turkey leg, Madden's picking his MVP, and, it might not be your traditional quarterback or wide receiver or running back. He might be taking the O-line, as his MVP. So that was the start of the Madden tradition.
Yeah. Okay, well, you've done well so far. Those are great picks. You got, the best ones. But I'll continue going with my heart here then.
Good ones.
So I'm going to take the 2022 Vikings-Patriots. This is when they started playing the night game as well, so it's no Cowboys or Lions. So 3 years ago, the Vikings and Patriots played. I think I even maybe mentioned this a little bit last week. The Vikings won 33-26. It was a fabulously entertaining game, back and forth. It was Kirk Cousins was one of his better seasons. We made the playoffs that year. The Vikings went 13-4. But for me, it was a great game. And it was really fun, but it was the first Thanksgiving that we hosted in our new house. Nice. And everybody came over at noon, and most of them were still there at 10:30 that night because my brother and my brother-in-law and their family, whoever was there, stick around, and my cousins my kids' cousins, my nieces and nephews. They all stuck around. We watched the game that night, and we had leftovers, and we had all this stuff. And it was just so fun, and it was so fun because my wife, when it comes to family things, she kind of has a time limit, and it can't go on too long. But she just embraced it that year and was like, "This is great," and we've been doing it ever since. And so, not only was it a great Thanksgiving, but it ended with just a fantastic game, and that's why I love it. So for me, that's my next one.
That's beautiful. That's going with the heart. I like that. It is. It's a nice, memory for you on Thanksgiving. Yeah, absolutely. All right. My next one, I'm going to go 1997 I'm going Bears Lions. For our younger audience out there, if you've never watched Barry Sanders play the game of football, do yourself a favor and just go on YouTube and watch this guy, because he was, a video game in real life. Absolutely amazing. In my opinion, the funnest and greatest rusher to ever play. He led the league. He still has the record for most negative yardage ever.
I was going to say
so
that.
If you just take that away, he's got the record by a mile. But in this game, Bears Lions, Bears ended up winning. Lions ended up winning 55-20. Sanders' line that day, 167 yards and 3 touchdowns, and capped off his 11th straight 100-yard rushing game.
Did you say the score? 55-20?
55-20, yeah.
And so this is his 2,000-yard season, which you might remember, you might not. He got off to a terrible start. He had 52 yards total in the first 2 games of the year. Mm-hmm. He had an even 2,000 in the next 14 games and ran for 100 yards or more in every single one of them. He ended with 2,052 yards, exactly 2,000. So it wasn't in the first 14, but like if you were going to argue like, well, O.J. Simpson did it in 14 games. Well, technically, Barry Sanders did run for 2,000 yards in 14 games too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It just didn't quite count that way, but
right.
Impressive nonetheless.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, so not a great game, but yeah, a great moment for one of the best players of our growing up.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to pick another Lions-Bears game from 1991. Okay. So 1991, Bears-Lions. And in this game, I can't even remember who won. I didn't even write down who. Oh, no, Lions won. The Lions won. Yeah, because they were really good that year. That's actually the year the Lions went to the NFC Championship.
Yep.
But Mike Utley had been paralyzed in a game like 2 or 3, I think it was 3 weeks earlier. And it was just huge. The game stopped forever and like nobody was going on. And he gave this thumbs up as he left the field. So you remember you found this too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was really a big deal at the time. And actually it was a week and a half earlier, not 3 weeks. It was 2 games before. But there were lots of references to him throughout that day. The team dedicated the game and their season to him. It was one of the greatest Lions seasons in history, probably the greatest Lions season in history, at least in the Super Bowl era.
Until very, 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 very recent.
But really, it would be equal because they made it just as far.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a very, very strong memory of that game. I always kind of think that's the game where he got hurt because I remember it so well. But it was more about giving thanks and the way they dedicated it to him and how he was so important to the team and the symbol of the thumbs up. It was really cool.
Yep.
And so I will never forget that one.
Awesome. Well, for my last one, I'm going to follow up with something that wasn't really cool. Bit notorious. Again, not a great game. I'm going 2012 Pats.
See, now you're going to take that one too. I was going to maybe get that the last one.
Yep, Pats got 5 touchdowns in the second, including a Jets fumble. So what happened in this game? This is the butt fumble game.
Yeah, 49-19. Not a good game.
Yeah, not a great game. But this is Sanchez running into the rear end of his lineman. Fumbling the ball. It was returned for a touchdown
backwards like a cartoon.
Yes. And
it's
then
like
there was
ran into a brick wall.
He did. I mean, he did. Like that dude had to have been at least 100 pounds heavier than him. Stopped him dead in his tracks. And it's like, where were you going? Like how you see this massive body, this huge butt in front of you, and you just plow right into the backside of this guy and fall backwards. Ball comes out. Ran back for a touchdown. Jets had another fumble on a kick return that Edelman picked up, returned for a touchdown. I mean, it was just a calamity of errors in this game. But the butt fumble, I think, stands out as just a horrific moment on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's probably the best story to pick here at the end.
Yeah.
I'll go with one that's not nearly as fun, but was still a big story. So the year before that, in 2011, the Ravens played the 49ers in one of the night games, and this was the Harbaugh Bowl. So the Ravens won 16-6. So I got back-to-back 16-6 kind of snoozer games here. But it was John and Jim Harbaugh coaching against each other for the first time, which they would do again in the Super Bowl a year later. But so it had a lot of hype, and it was I feel like that was one of the first years where they had the night game too. So it was like a whole thing, you know. We got night games now. We got the Harbaugh Bowl. You got to watch this. So I mean, I could pick another Vikings game easily, but I'll go with that just because bigger story.
Well, sweet. So now we will pick Pete's list.
5 more.
And see where we end up here. So in this one, I think... well, I'm going to start him off on a pretty high note here. So I got to find it here. 2004, Colts-Lions. Peyton Manning had himself a day in this 41-9 blowout.
He sure did.
23 of 28 for, not great, 236 yards, but 6 touchdowns, for God's sakes. 6 touchdowns on just 28 passes.
Classic Peyton Manning.
Yeah. So that's a pretty big day on Thanksgiving for Manning.
All right, I will go to way back to 1982. Giants playing the Lions in the Silverdome, and I don't know much about the game, but I do know I've seen the highlight lots of times. This is where LT Lawrence Taylor had a 97-yard pick six, and that was a pretty big play, great play. He's pretty young still at that time, but
that was the only touchdown in the game.
Oh, was it?
It was the only touchdown, fourth quarter, pick six.
Oh, it was late too. Okay,
it was late in the fourth.
It kind of sealed the game.
Well, and here's the beauty of it: Lions get the ball back, get all the way back down to the Giants' 4-yard line, and then they're picked again to end the game. So it didn't get returned for a touchdown, but I mean, God, the Lions were right down there twice at the end of the game to win it, and failed both times. So
a pretty boring game overall, probably, but with a pretty great last few minutes.
Until the very end. Yep, that's a good one. So I picked 2012 Pats Jets. I'm going to take another game from 2012. This was earlier in the day, Lions Texans.
Oh, I don't have this one.
A lot of controversy in this game. So Forsett, the running back for the Texans, runs a 91-yard touchdown. Okay? But he was down on the play. So, of course, the Lions throw a challenge flag. Well, the problem is it's a scoring play, so you can't challenge on a scoring play. Lions get an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, and now the play can't be reviewed by the booth, so the touchdown counts.
I have a little bit of a memory of that. My God, the rules are so damn stupid. Are you trying to get the call right, or are you not? It just
right.
This comes up because as we're recording, there were so many bad calls this last weekend. The Eagles fumbled the tush push. It was the most obvious fumble live, and it's just, can you just get the call right? It's so damn stupid.
So this game eventually goes to overtime. Lions hit an upright on a field goal in overtime, and Texans eventually go on to win the game. But oh my God. I did not. Did I put the score down? I did. Oh. It's just the controversy of, holy crap, if you wouldn't have thrown the challenge flag, it wouldn't have been a touchdown. Now it's not only is it a touchdown now, but you get penalized. It's so effing stupid. But so 2012 had the butt fumble and the absolutely ridiculous can't review it now penalty. So yeah, a little nuts.
All right, I'm going to give Pete another Vikings game. So in 1987, my number one pick was this great game. Vikings come back in 1988, and they're awesome. And down the stretch of the season, their defense it's like 85 Bears-esque. They are shutting out teams. They are destroying teams. And so they beat the Lions that day 23-0, and they held the Lions to 60 total yards. An NFL team with 60 total yards. It was just, they were so good. And then they got to the playoffs and got bombed by the 49ers. But that was a impressive team, and it was right in the midst of this stretch where they looked unbeatable. Keith
Sweet.
Millard, Chris Dolman, Joey Browner, just great defense.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to go all the way back to the year of my birth. I'm going to give Pete this one. So this is 1976, Bills Lions. This is when the juice was loose. So we have 29 carries, 273 yards, and 2 touchdowns for O.J. Simpson. That's just what he did. So, of course, the Bills had, a great game, right? Nope, they lost 27-14. The Juice had both touchdowns, 273 yards. Guess how many total yards the Bills had?
301.
322. Total yards of offense. Juice had 273. So they lost by almost, double the score, 27-14.
That's quite a stat.
Yeah, that's a lot of yards for your team there. But we'll throw that one towards Pete.
All right, well, we covered almost all the ones that I have here.
Yeah, got a few more.
I do have another great Vikings game. So in 2000, 2 years after the Randy Moss game, the Vikings would play the Cowboys again, another year where we went to the NFC Championship. We won 27-15. This day, Randy Moss, again, had 7 catches for 144 yards and 2 touchdowns. But I remember this being the day Robert Smith ran wild. He had 21 carries for 148 yards and another touchdown. And it was just another domination over the Cowboys, which we always love when that happens.
Oh, of course. Yep. I got another one with some controversy.
I have one left, and it's controversial. I wonder if it's the same one.
Is it from 2013?
That's it.
Yep, go ahead.
Oh, well, this is Ravens and Steelers, and the Ravens won the game 22-20. But there was a kickoff return for the Ravens by Jacoby Jones for a touchdown, which, and I don't remember this, and it seems like this should have been a bigger deal. The head coach of the Steelers, Mike Tomlin, got on the field and got in his, actually, he didn't return it all the way because he got in his way.
Yep.
And it's how is that not a huge deal? How do I not remember that? Because he should have been suspended or something, you would think. But so the controversy there is the coach getting in the way, stopping a great play. The Ravens did win the game, so that's part of it. I mean, it worked out for them. But and it's funny too because you think of Mike Tomlin as just so serious, I wouldn't think he'd do something so silly, and I don't really know what happened there. But
well, and it's not like he was fully on the field. He had a foot on the field, had his back to the plate. He knew what he was doing, but he kind of edged Jacoby Jones in a little bit. He was
doing.
And then they caught him on camera just smiling, laughing, that he got, that's kind of away with that. Tucker had 5 field goals in that game, and as you said, Ravens did come away with the victory. So
that's kind of pathetic.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's my last one. Do you have another?
I got a few other ones in here. I got 1986 Packers Lions, 84 combined points. We had, let me see. We got the Bears Lions in 1980, the first overtime game on Thanksgiving. Bears tied the game as the game expired and then ran back the opening overtime kickoff.
I think I knew about that one. I think I've seen that before, the highlights.
To win the game, 94 yards to win it. You mentioned the 89 Eagles-Cowboys with a bounty. Here's one from 74, Washington and the Cowboys. This is a bounty controversy. Staubach was knocked out early in the game, and rookie Clint Longley comes in. 3 touchdown drives, including a 58-yard touchdown pass to win the game. For the boys on that one. And then we've got one in 94. Third string quarterback Jason Garrett for the Cowboys comes in, has himself a day, 311 yards, 2 touchdowns, and beats Favre and the Pack. So third string quarterback versus,
I remember
Hall
watching
of Famer.
That one too.
Yeah. So, I mean, I got a couple more, but, that's good enough because I don't want to talk too much about Cowboys. Packers.
Thanks for playing along because I enjoyed going back through the memories there because it was a big deal to me growing up watching those games, and there was a lot of good memories. Yeah. If you have a game that we didn't discuss, maybe your favorite team played and you have a memory of Thanksgiving, let us know. We'd love to hear about it.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
I know we have some Seahawks fans out there and maybe some Falcons fans and so on. Who knows? Maybe you got a good memory. Let us know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then should we
What do
talk
we got?
about next week, or you
Yeah,
got any more to say here?
No, I think that'll kind of wrap it up for this one. What do you have? What do you have for next week? What do we got coming up?
Well, what do we have? We have another 2 episodes of TV, but different ones this time. So we're going to talk about Cheers, and we're going to talk about Friends, and we're going to talk about 2 of the better, more memorable episodes of those shows ever that happen to be Thanksgiving episodes, and actually aired on Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Which I was surprised. We'll get to that, I guess. But with the Friends one, I was surprised it aired on Thanksgiving, because I would think by the time that came out, they wouldn't put new shows on Thanksgiving night, A. Like they'd show reruns. And B, I don't remember watching it on Thanksgiving, which that's the kind of thing I remember usually. Like I remember the Cheers one that we're going to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun to go back and relive and learn a little bit more about those. And then the big thing, though, is we're going to draft the best Thanksgiving foods.
Yes, we are. Yep.
In kind of in honor of the Friends episode that we're going to do. But, you know, we got to talk about Thanksgiving foods. And there's a deep list of things to draft from there.
Absolutely. Hey, Brad.
Yeah. Hey, what?
Hey, what band had a huge hit with less yapping, more slapping?
Well, I think that's probably Preacher Row, and we're going to hear them right now on our way out.
Yes. Thankful to hear them at the end of every show. Thank you for listening, everybody. We'll see you again next week.
Bye.